And as much as I would like to get the sword in there, not gonna go. Not gonna go. Yeah. What's up, dudes? This video is going to be a follow-up to the Damascus Oathkeeper review. We will be taking a look at the show version of the Oathkeeper Scabbard. It has been seen a couple of times in the series with Brienne of Tarth walking around with the Oathkeeper sheath. And, you know, when comparing it to how it looks in the series, it's actually a pretty good replica. And I mean, it's a beautiful scabbard compared to the sword, with as intricate and different as it looks. This certainly goes along with the looks of that particular sword, and I was quite happy to see how well it actually came out. So unlike some scabbards that I've gotten over the years, this one actually has leather on either side of the opening of the scabbard, so that you don't ding it on or scratch it on any of the metal that's around the top of it. The scabbard itself is wood on the inside. It's a wooden scabbard covered by metal fittings and fabric, and the addition of the leather here at the top does make for a nice addition to ensure that you don't scratch up your sword whenever you're trying to stick it in the scabbard. The one problem that I do have with this scabbard is that my sword doesn't fit. But, you know, that's not uncommon with a lot of these replica swords. United Cutlery had kind of the same problem with their on-the-rail scabbards and their Strider sword scabbards, that sometimes there was a difference in the thickness of the blade, depending, you know, from batch to batch of swords that were made, and they wouldn't always fit the scabbard properly. I think it was the Strider scabbards. They had I had read up that some people had to oil up their blades in order to get them to fit into the scabbard. I'm not sure on any tricks to make the sword fit into this one, and I'm really not going to try, because mine is one of the Damascus versions, and yeah, I'm not experimenting with that one. That's not going to happen. So hopefully Valyrian Steel will get back to me and give me an idea on what I need to do in order to make the scabbard fit properly, or maybe they might even replace it. I'm not sure yet. Part of the problem that I've had with it fitting is that the opening, the top of it, it's just too tight. You know, I've tried running the sword in back and forth a few times, but it always gets stuck at a certain point, and it won't go any further. It doesn't move, it doesn't wiggle. It's just in there. It's solid, so it's not going anywhere. The scabbard itself is actually pretty solid, pretty solid construction. It's got two rings at the top to hook to a belt. I'm trying to keep from letting them rattle around too much, because yeah, they make a lot of noise. The metal fitting here at the top, it's riveted down on the back. Like I said, there's two pieces of leather up here at the top. A majority of it is covered in fabric, which is sewn up on the back side and then covered in lace to try and hide the sew lines. Down at the bottom, it has a lion's head along with another metal fitting, and then something that almost looks like a wicker basket weaving or something down at the bottom. Now, just as a demonstration, I'll just show the sword going into the scabbard. It's not going to go all the way because it doesn't fit, but you know, you'll get an idea on what it looks like. and that's about all she's got. So while it would look really nice all the way in, not gonna happen. And really, whenever I'm displaying it, I mean, that's literally all it's going to be, is me displaying it. So, I mean, I'm not going. You could mount it in the scabbard, and it probably look nice, but with the Damascus version, I'm not going to hide the blade in the scabbard, or else what's the point of getting the Damascus version? You know, stainless version, yeah, sure, go ahead, no problem. If you've got two of them, kind of like I've got one on the rail and one Narsil sword. The Narsil sword, I have a scabbard on it. The on the rail one, I have a scabbard next to it. So, you know, it kind of looks cool for a display. So, I mean, that is an option that you have. Yeah. Oh. There we go. One thing about having a wooden core with your scabbard is that you don't have as much of a chance of scratching the sword. Unfortunately, with some of the scabbards and various fantasy sword lineups, replicas, they've got metal around the top of the scabbard, or even just inside, and or right on the top, and it gives you a very high chance of scratching up your blade, which really sucks. It's, you know, what's the point of having the scabbard if you can't actually put the sword in it? Really. Luckily with this one, like I said, it's covered with the leather, so it's kind of protected. And then of course once you put the sword into it, it's all wood, so even if it's getting tightened up like it is right now, there's not too much of a worry of actually scratching the blade, which I'm quite happy about. Mounting any of these scabbards is fairly easily done. If you don't actually want to have them mounted on the sword, you can make use of the little L-shaped screws. I've got plenty of pictures of various scabbards that I have set up using those little L-shaped screws. But you know, these scabbards are fairly lightweight, so you know, even if you aren't going through a stud or an anchor or anything like that, you know, you can just screw them in a drywall and they should be able to hold these things up. As you can see, you've got the metal fittings here at the top, along with this band, this metal band with 2 rings on it for attaching the scabbard to your belt. It is held on with 4 rivets on the back side. And then here at the top, you can also see a piece of leather, and that pretty much is just kind of like a little flap that covers up the top of the scabbard. Now, on the front side, it's all metal, but it's covered by leather on the back. And then inside, you've got a wooden core that is actually the scabbard. It's actually the scabbard itself, just wrapped up in fabric and metal. So when you go to insert your sword into the scabbard, so it's going to be sitting on your hip, you'll want to angle your sword like this, and that way you don't wind up scraping your sword or, you know, dinging up the blade or whatever on the on the metal part of the scabbard. Right in this way, and once you've got your tip in the opening in the slot of the scabbard, you can straighten out and run it the rest of the way in. Because while there is leather here protecting your blade from the metal, here along the outer edges, this is not protected. This is fully exposed and can wind up damaging your blade. So just make sure that you're careful. If you're using the scabbard, make sure that you're careful whenever you insert it. And start off at an angle and once you've got your tip in, and then square up with the scabbard and finish running it the rest of the way in. Especially if you have the Damascus sword, you really don't want to be messing that up. That will definitely do a number on the collector value. So running along the rest of the scabbard, you can see the fabric. It's beautiful fabric. It kind of reminds me of feeling the texture and whatnot. It's a little coarse. It kind of reminds you of curtains, like your grandmother's drapes. Yeah. But you know, I guess it's kind of an old-fashioned movie or something. You know, a time period. So I guess it fits. But it came out really nice, really beautiful. Down here toward the end of the scabbard, it's got like a little lion's head. Really nice details on the lion's head. And then it's got like a little piece of lace that runs around the backside. You know, it's kind of like supposed to, I guess, supposed to look like it's holding it in place. But really nice. And then another metal fitting. And then this wicker basket weaving looking stuff. I still don't know what the heck that is. It's fabric-ish, but yeah, it's weird. So this little metal fitting, it's actually riveted together right here. There's 4 rivets, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a little bit of a line, a little bit of a gap in between the 2 layers of metal that have been riveted here. It's not really an eyesore or anything. It's there. So, and then the wicker basket weaving stuff is sewn up on the outside, on the outer edges. So, going again, taking a look at the back side of the scabbard. Again, you've got your little leather flap. You've got the back side where the metal fitting is riveted down. This is the seam for where the fabric on the scabbard is sewn up. It's covered by this piece of lace running the length of the scabbard, and you know it does serve a purpose of cleaning it up and everything, and you know it looks nice anyhow. So that runs the whole way down, and then you've got that crossover from the lion's head. Again, the metal fitting and the wicker basket. Yeah. So one more view. Cool lion's head. I like that. That's nice. That's it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or whatever, just throw them down below in the comment section. I'll also have a video of the new needle scabbard, and just for kicks and giggles, I'll do the book version scabbard for the needle as well. So be sure to check that out if you're thinking about getting the scabbard for it. Currently these are in stock on Valyrian Steel's website for $160. They're unlimited supply. They'll make them until they don't want to anymore. So I'll throw the link for it down below. Check it out. You know, I really like the way that the scabbard came out. So again, I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you on the next go round. Take care.